Happy holidays.
Hey, it's always good to be here. How's everybody doing? We are H&D Abroad with the Tuesday. What day is today? Oh, so goodness. Tuesday night edition. It's just time is just slipping away from us. Just stopping through, wanting to check in with the world.
Absolutely. So we want to start with saying hello. We have quite a few new subscribers. So we go live a couple of times during the week, usually Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesday or Thursday, in addition to our Saturday broadcast to give you some updates. As well as share some tips and tricks as we are preparing to move abroad. But before we start talking about it's the season to declutter, let's introduce ourselves.
All right. So we are H&D Abroad. I'm Herman. This is the boss, my lovely and beautiful wife, Dee. And oh man, my brain is asleep. Okay, so our channel is about sharing our journey to move abroad. That's the cut and dry. We have not decided where we're going, but we're narrowing it down. And we wanted to share it in real time. When we began this search, we couldn't find people doing what we were doing as a couple. And so we jumped in this YouTube water to share our experiences as we learned along. We are learning this through community. You are our community. This is a conversation. Every time we come on live because we want to have a conversation with you. So don't just watch, don't stalk in the background, drop in the chat, tell us who you are, say that you're here, give us a shout out. And if you come by later, hit hashtag replay, let us know you were here, give us some comments, because it's always good to share with you.
Yeah, so in our journey, we are learning by reaching out in our community to learn more. We get on the ground and do scouting trips as well as lots of research. So we are sharing resources, places where we're finding reliable information, but we're not doing that alone. So we consider moving abroad as a plan A and want to share those tips and shortcuts so that if you are considering long-term travel or moving abroad, that we can be a resource. So please like this video. Stop and like this video now. That helps the algorithm know that this is something you want to see more often. Please share this video if you found the information helpful, and subscribe to our channel. And we really appreciate the support. So we're going to dive right into why decluttering by seasons might be a great way to consider preparing for your move abroad. We started this process just over a year ago. As a matter of fact, Christmas Eve, talking about could this be our last Christmas? And so over the year, we have taken a look at different parts of our home. And as our adult children have moved out, have taken different opportunities to kind of, flush things out and get things going so that it's not so overwhelming. We recognize that decluttering can be emotional, especially when there are things, that represent something really important to you. I've shared a couple of those areas with our audience previously. We've got the playlist for decluttering so that in the description, so that you can kind of get more information about topics and folks that are doing this just like you. But also recognizing that a systematic approach of working together can be helpful. There is a level of respect as a wife that I have for my husband's things. Okay. And that is, if it belongs to me, then I can make the decision about what happens to that item. If it belongs to my spouse, then I'm going to say, what would you like to do with this item?
Yes, that's well said. And as a husband, I don't ask anything. No, it's important as couples, as you're trying to, just in the normal flow of increasing and decreasing in a home space. You've all seen the shows throughout history. A couple gets married, they move into a house together, and all his things become thrift store, thrift store things. She has not done that to me, and I appreciated it. I have a narrow number of things that I've carried over from earlier in my life. And even some of those things with time, I am releasing.
Mhm.
Sometimes because it's just time to move on. Sometimes I can't repair them anymore. I don't have a fair way to maintain them. When I was 2, 3, maybe not even that old, my folks bought a toy box for me. It was a giant elephant. And I used to climb in the toy box. It has the top and it's plastic with colors and holes all around. And I used to climb in that toy box. And I had a small number of toys that I brought with me into my adulthood. Some of the original Tonka trucks, metal Tonka trucks, and things like that I kept in that toy box. During our move from our previous city to this one, those trucks were stolen. And that was painful,
Yeah.
to deal with, because those were keepsake memories as well as just good things. They were very when we moved into this home, when our children were little, I gave them that toy box and they played with that toy box. When we moved into this home, I let the toy box go. It's done what it was meant to do. Along with that was my first teddy bear and a few other things like that. I'm okay releasing those things. There are some trinkets, things that my parents got me when they were traveling abroad when I was young, that I will have until I'm no longer, or until it's really unwise. And Dee has not tried to convince me otherwise. And that's important because it's allowed me to make that decision. We were talking this week and I said, there are some things that are yours and I don't touch them out of respect. When she asked me my opinion, I offer some very calculated thoughts, but decluttering as a couple is a challenge because there has to be a collaborative yet patient approach to that, I think.
Yeah,
Because,
and some couples, I mean, we've talked to on our channel have been like, we were able to clear everything out in 6 weeks. That's probably a more aggressive approach. I mean, it could be done, but what we're trying to do is make headway, during the month of December, to really get things going so that if opportunities open up in the first quarter of the year, that we have fewer things that have to be kind of decided on what needs to happen. So these are some of the ways that we are taking advantage of the Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday season. So I've talked a little bit about my plants. So I've got the ones here in the background, but we have a lot more of them in our home. And so during Thanksgiving, decided to give some of those plants to family members that we had over for for Thanksgiving. So gave away some books, made some decisions about some of the larger items that we wanted to keep in the family. We offered them to family members and they took them away with them. That was super nice to be able to do. So I'm going now through photos, family photos. So I want to thank Kat of Rebloom Room. she's been hosting some live declutter sessions. So just, being able to be in community and declutter together. So what I did was I started stacking photos that were of our immediate family,
Mhm.
and we're going to take those physical photographs because back when our children were small, most of the time we were taking them with the camera where you had to get film developed. We want to keep those, so we want to preserve those in some on acid-free paper. But other photos that we have of family members and friends, I was going through them and shed some tears. I mean, there are pictures of cousins and uncles and grandparents that are no longer here that I was able to photograph and message them out, so that people could have, they could have a digital representation of that. And then I'm putting some in the mail with my Christmas cards. So, hey, I've got these pictures of you. Um, Thank you so much for being a part of our lives. And I can gift them to those friends and family. So just thinking about how we can take these gathering opportunities, if you send out Christmas cards, how to gift those items. But the thing that probably hit me the most is I truly enjoy the gatherings that we have during Christmas. Our kids
Mhm.
loved, we had two Christmas trees, and then the kids had trees in their room. So I have a lot of Christmas ornaments and items from them. And now we have sold the 9.5 foot Christmas tree. We've got a little Christmas tree. That tree is going to go to our son who has his own place. But this is a great time of year to sell all of our surplus Christmas items.
Mhm.
People are looking for them. People are, people are thinking about, Christmas is top of mind. But what I challenged H with is let's go through the deep freezer. The deep freezer. So the picture on the thumbnail and the picture that we have on Instagram is part of the declutter of our deep freezer.
Now, to be fair, we purchased this freezer how many years ago as it is now?
And let's see, if it was 18, 19, 20, about 20 years ago,
Okay, so
20, 22 years ago.
all
Yeah.
right. So when we purchased the freezer, my first objective was to not buy a deep freezer that is, what is it called? A chest. I bought a deep freezer that's a standing deep freezer. So that allows me to defrost it regularly and to work through the things regularly. So unlike other family members, I don't see how diplomatic that was. I don't have a layer of things on top of things because I knew that I would never make it to the bottom. I would never be able to dig my way out of that. So the things that we have, what happens a lot is frost builds up a lot. And so things then become discernible. I know as a culinarian to mark everything, but that doesn't always happen. And so there are things that are there that are guess worthy.
So the photo, so I'm not sure if you have joined us, and we see folks that have joined. If you have any idea what those pictures were, put it in the chat. Tell us what you think that it was. There are things that I freeze regularly. Hey, Roxanne. There are things that I freeze regularly, which are huge hacks. So I can go buy several loaves of bread and, take out one loaf, but have a couple of loaves in the freezer. you know, if you put it on the counter, they're defrosted by the end of the day. I freeze spaghetti sauce, beans, chili, greens. I will put cornbread in for a reasonable amount of time. So I have used that deep freezer has been a it has been so helpful to us over the years. I absolutely hate to let it go, but it doesn't make sense. Uh, It just doesn't make sense for two. It's just, it's there are three people in our house now, and our son eats out mostly. So why do I need a deep freezer?
And we're having that debate. And
Why
I
do I need a deep freezer when I have a refrigerator with a full freezer? That once I get rid of the overage of ice cream that I bought, which my
It's
cholesterol
a whole
is
nother story.
begging me to get rid
And,
of.
and a plug, if you live anywhere where there's Publix, during the summer, buy the Publix brand quart ice cream. The,
Yes,
the
it is.
various the various versions are amazing. And I will say that because I don't like a lot of ice cream anymore. They are amazing.
So, yeah, so I mean, you've got a lot of advantages with the deep freezer. It does, considering that we bought the deep freezer over 20 years ago and that we have had
None.
no problems with this deep
No.
freezer. This is a good time to defrost. And it was actually vegetable soup that's in the picture. It was vegetable soup. So I batch cook soup in a crock pot, and then I freeze them um, in smaller quantities so that just like what I did, I was able to make a pan of cornbread. And when you came home Sunday night from work, it was cold, and was able to give him a home cooked meal without all of
Cooking.
the cooking that comes from that. So, I mean, the deep freezer serves a great purpose, but it doesn't make sense. So, this was a good time because I know we were going to be having more guests. When we hosted your cousins for a week, you know, we were able to say, please go in and eat as much ice cream as possible. And with three teenage boys, they really helped us clear it out. So, you know, kind of thinking, what could I do to make the declutter process simpler? Think about things that are seasonal, and then get rid of that. So some of the other things that we are preparing to let go of are um, blenders, juicers, our weight bench and weights, because what is everybody thinking about in January? They are thinking about, you know, their healthy start. And so people are going to be thinking about those things. It's going to be top of mind. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Shamika. They're going to be thinking about those things. It's going to be top of mind. So why not sell when people are thinking about, and there is interest, there's motivation for people to make those purchases. So if you have been considering just getting rid of, you know, considering a more, or what did the lady say in the video, the minimalist light lifestyle, then maybe getting rid of some things as a part of you know, as part of the seasons changing, might be an approach. I'm able to get some traction because it's helping me to be focused. And I think that is a part of the declutter process, is deciding, you know, do I use it? Do I need it? Do I want it?
And to be fair, we are sharing this experience as a couple approach. And so we started off talking about, the respect of the individual things. There is the challenge of the shared things. Um, the deep freezer. She started off with that on purpose. Because as the chef in the house, I almost said the primary cook. That's not the best way to say that. As the chef in the house, I'm always storing, I'm always planning, I'm always prepping, even with the reduced amount of things we have, make extra rice, put rice in there because my nights are late sometimes and our times are occupied. And so, and I'm less fan of the refrigerator that we have, but I also respect and know how to adapt and how to adjust. We have a small refrigerator sitting over here, like a college dorm refrigerator, mini refrigerator, and we've had a time where that was our only refrigerator, and so you get caught in those things. And the beauty is, I'm out of the house during the day, so Dee can make some broad decisions, but I don't come home and stuff is gone. There's still a discussion about it, and that respect and collaboration makes the process more functional.
Absolutely.
And with that, then focusing on the seasonal part of that, what can be, there are people still looking for Christmas gifts, ladies and gentlemen. You have something to sell that somebody can be as a last minute Christmas gift. That's a big deal. You have things, you got treadmill sitting over in this corner. Somebody is going to do what we did and buy it and use it a little bit, but it can be gone.
Yep. So a YouTuber that I follow is Minimalist Home. She shares just her process, and so that do I use it? Do I want it? Do I need it? Approach is something that that she helped me to when I'm looking at things. So I'm going through the coat closet. It makes sense to sell my coats in this season because people are thinking about coats and using them. Plates and dinnerware. People are hosting parties. I've considered, letting go of some of the folding tables that we have because people are hosting events. So, I mean, when you're looking at what opportunity, what does this, could a seasonal approach be something that's helpful to preparing and making the move abroad process happen in manageable chunks? I think a seasonal approach to the declutter, the letting your stuff go, might be a helpful approach. Anything else you wanted to say before we end?
No, I think that nails it down. Get it done. Share your experience with us. We need the encouragement. And this was our attempt first. There will be many more. And sharing the attempt of decluttering. You don't have to be leaving to declutter. You don't have to be moving to declutter. Sometimes you need to recognize that things need to downsize a little bit for your well-being. As a health specialist, we need you to know as a decluttered space is a decluttered mind. It affects your sleep, your well-being, and your future.
And the less things you have means the less things you have to clean up. And so, especially for those of us who have young adults that have lived in our home and are moving away, take the opportunity to continue that declutter process. It's super easy to see that as an available closet or an available room to put more things in. And so that this is the challenge that we've made for ourselves. And I think that the universe sees our efforts at being ready to move. And so as we double down this week, I'll be talking with Ozzy about like the job search. And we've got a friend who was just looking on the internet for work and applied on a Sunday, got a call on Tuesday, got a job offer on Thursday, and she's She and her family are out at the end of this month. If that opportunity presents itself, how much of a relief would it be to have already let go of things that you already know you're going to let go of? So,
Or going to be a challenge letting go of.
or are going to be a challenge. So, all right. Hey, Diane. I appreciate everybody joining us this evening for this, kind of quick update thought process. It was fun to do that little, if you haven't seen it, I posted the defrosting process on Instagram so that you could see a block of ice that becomes a bowl of wonderful vegetable soup that we shared on Sunday night.
Amazing.
Yes, I had lentils. I've got lentils in there now. So I'm trying to decide if am I going to make lentil soup using mommy's recipe or something else. So if you like this content, please like this video, share this video, and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because we go live during the week and every Saturday.
We're H&D Abroad. Stopping through. Good to see you.
Bye for now.